Table or truth?
I guess the question is, why are the Trumps of the world and the Andrew Tates apparently the representatives?
Why are you putting him in the realm with Trump?
Somebody who's trying to, or maybe I don't know if it's intentional or not, um, pointing out the flaws in the established way of thinking, the social trends, whether it's by the said establishment or just mass media, like whatever has created these trends that have created this sort of dystopia for the lives of millions of people. And there's not enough people that seem to talk about this stuff. You know, name a few others maybe that are pointing out some of the flaws to our modern world that affect the spiritual health and the economic health of the average person.
Well, they're all over the internet.
Yeah, but name three.
Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Well, Joe Rogan just kind of listens to people. He allows people to go on his show and like lambast. So he's not sitting there preaching per se. He just kind of mostly listens. So I mean, I don't know. Some of his guests would probably be a better choice. But like who?
I forgot the gentleman that used to send me videos.
Tim Pool?
Yeah, Pool.
Okay. Well, here's the problem though. All these people seem to point in the trend of the conservative right, which would only suggest that the leftist liberal thinking has some serious flaws to work out. Name some pundits on the left who are actually exposing some of the gaping holes of logic, I guess, in the fabric of society and that's been brought by these kinds of trends of individualism, um, you know, open mindedness, but with no regard of like the economic realities of consequences to like certain lifestyles, maybe certain mindsets, that kind of stuff.
Since I'm not a purveyor of social media, my knowledge of those who, and evidently they're all over the place. Everybody and his brother has a podcast somewhere giving their opinions. So
Well,
most of the stuff that I look at is more on the political side. For instance, like Jesse Dollemore.
what is he?
He generally talks about politics. He's more on the left side.
Okay.
And
He's like the anti-Glenn Beck, I guess.
Okay.
That fair?
That's fair.
So what does he say that rallies up people, I think, in a way where intellectually they not just find solace, but like gives them the game strategy that will help society solve these issues of, let's just say, single parents dystopia.
Well, he doesn't, because like I said, what I generally look at more is tending towards politics.
So like the big geopolitics.
Or more U.S. politics.
Yeah. So okay, but even then, like if we're talking about economics, like in certain parts of the country, well, all right. I mean, I don't know. Like these are the real issues that I guess like voters or just the average person is really struggling with. I mean, the more I was like I was telling you, I was working on a business plan for my friend's church, like downtown. And the more I thought about what are the programs that people really need, if I can like flesh them out in words, what are the needs that the people in downtown by Pleasant Street really could use, right? And according to the research, one immediate need was, people need furniture and somebody to help move the furniture into their apartments. Okay, that's functional, right? As we started thinking a little more philosophically, obviously anything that helps people resolve addictions is big. Mental health stuff is big. Financial strategy is big. Any learning a vocation maybe seems like a proposal for a potential program. STEM education, homeschooling maybe that seems like a good one. You'll notice a lot of these though ultimately are geared towards improving somebody's economic or mental or physical health. And so the question is, how did they get into that place in the first place? Like, I mean, granted, people, can make bad decisions in life. But if the nurturing of the culture has just pervaded them with a bunch of ideas planted in their heads of being individualism is a good example of something that we tend to celebrate in our culture, right? But years down the line, you realize that it's very, very hard to make it on your own in this life, unless you're very well off. And even then, emotionally, it's nice to have friends. But the average single parent that I know is not doing great, especially with the economic hard times that we're facing, right? So this is related to geopolitics in a way. Like what the hell, how do you solve these problems? Obviously, if what people are perceiving as inflation wasn't an issue, it would be a lot easier for them to make ends meet. But I was just reading how like credit cards, people's credit cards have been maxed out because the interest rates are like 20 something percent now, which is insane. I don't know how people are going to get out of that debt, especially if they're using credit cards to just make ends meet. Like, how do you get out of that debt?
That's a great question.
According to not the Epic Times, God, I was just listening to these guys. There's some The Verge. No, that can't be right. Some media source that I was just listening to. Freaking the name escapes me right now, but I'll have to find it after our show, if you will. The trends that these guys are predicting, just based on the stats they know about, like the pulse of the nation, the fact that the Federal Reserve, was it the Federal Reserve, whoever allows interest rates to go up, right, and has caused this massive just problem financially for a lot of people, where food is really hard to get. It's just very hard to make ends meet for stuff. So food, gas, rent's really tough for a lot of people. The buying power of their money isn't really there as it used to be, even before COVID. And it's possible supplies are going to be more scarce because of the predicted famine that could happen due to low fertilizer in Ukraine.
You're leaning back in the pool again.
Okay, I might be leaning back in the pool, but are the Tim Pools of the world that nuts?
Yeah.
How so?
Well,
so that's nothing to worry about.
I don't see a problem with famine in the United States in the next 10 years.
Well, if you have a lot of money, you can pay, $20 for a piece of steak. That's true. But what about the single mom or dad who goes to Walmart and, let's say, God forbid, the steak ends up costing them. If you like our aims to bring about peace and prosperity to the human race by having this channel as a template on how to do civil discussion, hit a like and subscribe and share the channel.